All right. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get this up. Perfect. All right. I'll get you guys over here. Sweet. All right. If you're joining in, say what's up. Say good morning. Let me know you're in here. Let's see. Do you have people joining? Monica, good morning. How are you? Hopefully everything's good with you. Ninja Fish, good morning. How you doing? Chris, what's up, man? Good to hear, Monica. I am good. Appreciate that. We got Idaho Mountain Guides. Good morning. Luflix, good morning. Chris, good to hear, man. Michael, good morning. How are you? All right. Sweet. So let's see what we got today. Let us see. So obviously, yesterday was another relatively large move to the upside. So it's going to make it unlikely that we get any sort of TLM trade today. We'll see what we got. Good buddy. Good morning. How are you? How are you doing? So yeah, like SPY and Qs, again, pretty big up moves yesterday. Only thing I'd really be looking for is maybe like continuation plays on these. I'd more than likely look more towards futures for that. IWM's actually not bad. If we do go down a little bit today, this could be a good TLM trade. It's very much counter to what we've been doing the past 2 days, but could be pretty good. PLTR as well. This could be pretty good. Does depend where we open. Obviously, something like PLTR, I would say, is still very much in that downtrend versus even something like SPY or Qs, which I would say are more uptrendy right now. They've broken some highs recently. PLTR hasn't. So I would still lean more bearish there. Apple actually looks good. Okay, so we might get some TLM plays. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really look at the market after about 11 o'clock yesterday, so I did not see that some things were actually pretty trendy. Apple made quite the high. Went all the way up to 262 yesterday, ended up settling under 260. It's quite the move. Mandy, good morning. How you doing? Amazon, another great day yesterday for all the Amazon bag holders. But probably nothing today for day trades. Goog had another good day as well. Finally back up to that 330 range. I look back at Goog. Maybe it was another missed opportunity to not buy down here under like 280, but there were other things I liked a little bit more. But I mean, that's already up $50 from when was that low? Basically 2 weeks ago of $50. That was a good buy if you got it. AMD back with a close above 250 for day trades today. I don't like anything that I see personally. Microsoft gaps up again. What a stock. What a stock. Probably nothing with the gap up. I mean, it does look like we will hit like a 30-minute supply up here. I don't love that one. I'm going to be more curious around this 399, 400 range if we keep going. Chris McKay, good morning. How you doing, man? How are you doing? Yeah, something like Microsoft, I will draw out this supply on the 30-minute. We'll see if we get a reaction. Maybe there's something quick we can catch there. It has just been so bullish over the past week or so. It's gonna be hard for me to take a short on that. Meta, very similar to Microsoft. Like we might be at a little bit of a supply. Not super into it. Nvidia did hit a pretty major supply yesterday. So we'll see if that rejects it all. We also did create, I like the 45-minute here for demand. I'd much rather us move down there and maybe find a long play off of that. Hood's up to 85 pre-market, which is crazy. Huge move for Hood. I mean, this thing was screaming to be bought up down at, down towards 60. I know, I don't know if John's in here yet, but I'm pretty sure John bought some Hood. I think he messaged me about it. You like Apple for supply and demand? I was looking at Apple for TLM, but I could definitely see where you're saying with supply and demand. The only issue with this, in my opinion, Chris, is you have what I would say is a decent supply here that we bounced off yesterday, and then you have a demand down here, right? So looking at us opening more down towards this side, I'd rather see us do something like this and rotate up, assuming we're going to keep the sort of uptrend for today. If not, if the market goes down a little bit, then I'd probably want to look at, maybe IWM for TLM play, maybe PLTR if this spikes up in the morning. But yeah, I do like Apple. I just would play it more as a TLM trade. MD Investor. Thanks, Tyrone. Good morning. Walmart swings. I will look at it. I will look. So yeah, nothing on Hood day trading wise, but very good for anyone who bought up shares or leaps or anything like that. Sorry, my allergy is killing me this morning. Tesla, we did bounce off of probably a nice little 30-minute demand here. I don't know, lower time frame, what that'll look like. Not great. I mean, it's a decent bounce. We will break like this high this morning. I don't know if that's something I'd really be super into, with something to watch. AVGO with a huge gap up. This thing has also been running. I mean, again, basically since March 30th, we are up, what is that, $90, almost $100 in 2 weeks. It's crazy. How do you guys put together your watch list? So I just have like a good chunk of stocks that I look at every day. So basically everything IWM down to, I would say like Walmart are the things that I'll trade the most. And then I'll have some other ones down here that I don't trade as much. But I just look through these every morning, find which plays are possibly good setups for TLM, find which ones are possibly good setups for supply and demand, separate that into my watch list, and then I got the watch list for the day. Yeah, definitely take a peek at what's on my stock list, some of the other coaches as well, and you can put together a pretty solid list of stocks for each day. So it looks like TSM did just bounce off of a nice little 30-minute demand here, and this looks like it actually has pretty good structure. So if we could move up today, break these highs, and retrace, I'd like that. I think that'd be pretty good. John, good morning. John, I was just talking about you. You bought Hood with me too, right? I'm pretty sure you messaged me about buying Hood. Oracle, probably nothing today. Yeah, didn't you? What did you buy? I thought you messaged me about buying something recently, like Leaps. Am I crazy with that? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I swear you messaged me about buying something though. Oh no, you got PLTR. That's what it was. Okay. I thought you bought HUD for some reason. I thought about one more swing yesterday. I did see that, yeah. Frederick, good morning. How are you? MU, another fantastic day for this. As for day trades, probably nothing. But again, if you're an investor, that thing has been killing it. MU is really interesting to look at because, like, if you'd bought MU even like in January, I mean, you're closing in on 100% gain on this. And basically 4 months, which is wild. Absolutely wild. Netflix pretty straight up yesterday, probably nothing. Coin. This could be okay for TLM. It wouldn't be my favorite, but if we could pop out to the upside and work down, I wouldn't mind it, but it's far from my favorite. I know Tyrone asked about Walmart. So we do have, I believe John went over this yesterday. We do have a nice demand zone here that we just touched. 150% on MU. Way to be. Way to be. Very good trade. Yeah, the only kind of struggle with Walmart is you don't really have a high you broke. I mean, you broke a nice supply here. This is like a decent, okay, weak high. But I could see a world where someone looks for a retrace back down to like 124, 123.50, and then plays it to the upside. It's not my preferred type of trade, but it could be good. SoFi with a nice gap up today. Hopefully that can work back towards that $30 a share that we kept for about 6 hours one day. HIMS moves up well. Again, could be good for a TLM short. We did have a potential HIMS short, I want to say a few days ago, that kind of just stalled out, which was unfortunate. Shop could be good as well. Two things I don't really like trading a ton, but if it provides a good opportunity, I will take it. QCOM, probably nothing. Now we start to get into the ones I don't love to trade, but like Boeing's at supply. Maybe we could find something off that. I think lower time frame, this is going to be hard. Yeah, that'll be a little bit hard. Lower time frame. Could be a TLM play though. Guess I'll put that there. I feel like I'm always late to the party. Watch stuff rip, always missing a move. I mean, it's just about recognizing when a potential move could happen. And I mean, for me, excuse me, for me, like something, I mean, it depends on what you're looking at, right? But if you're looking at swing trades like that, for me, sometimes a lot of them are not even necessarily like actual good setups in terms of like supply and demand or balance theory. Sometimes when I'm buying things for long term, it's just because I think they're cheap relative to where the stock should be priced. So when you look at swing trades like that, it's not necessarily always about the A+ setup. Obviously, that's nice, and obviously, it makes you more confident in it. But some of the stuff I have right now was simply just me looking at it and saying it's too cheap and buying it. I mean, maybe if you find a perfect supply and demand or balance theory move, you find an A plus setup with a perfect entry, right? But a lot of times when you see things rip like this, it's you find out it was just too cheap at the time, right? So it's about having that confidence, knowing the company, knowing the product, understanding maybe where they were priced at versus where they are at now, understanding why a drop might have happened, and then taking advantage of that drop because the stock is undervalued. That's a lot of times what mine come down to. So I mix that with the A plus setups. Like the AMD trade I closed out a couple days ago was a balance theory trade, which in my opinion was like a nice A plus setup. And then I have other things that I'm holding that are not A plus setups that are just too cheap, so I bought them. So you have to kind of mix it in. But yeah, if you feel like you're missing things, like things are ripping and you were looking at them but you never pulled the trigger, it's probably just because you're doing one of two things wrong. You're either not recognizing when that move's about to happen good enough, or you're not looking for the right sort of setup, right? You might be looking for a supply and demand trade when you should be looking for a balance theory trade, or vice versa. Yeah, and then you got like Roblox and Uber. And Roblox could be okay if we came back down. Yeah, but again, just not one of my preferred things to trade. This could be okay if we do move down to the TLM area. It's very, very, very consolidated yesterday. Feel better. Feel like stuff's ripped, but I didn't have the read to fire. Yeah, a lot of that could stem from confidence too, man. Like that's a big part of it. I know for me, I'm sure like John could attest to this as well. When I first started swing trading, I would miss out on a lot of trades because I didn't have the confidence to where I've actually seen it work. So when I first started swing trading, I was literally buying like 10 or 15 shares of a stock, right? And for some more expensive things, maybe even less, maybe only 5 shares of a stock. And I was playing out these swing trades with just shares of stocks just to show myself that it worked, right? And then once I got more comfortable with it, I said, okay, I understand the swing trading more. I get it. I know this is a good time to enter. I know that just because my swing trade has a little bit of drawdown or doesn't go up every single day that I'm in it, doesn't mean it's a bad investment or a bad thing to put my money into. Because that was my thing with swing trading, was when I would enter trade and then for 2 days it would go down, I would feel like I didn't have the right entry, or I entered too soon, or it wasn't going to work out. And sure, some of them might not work out, but if you build that confidence, you'll be a lot more okay with buying into things when that move hasn't happened, right? Because ultimately you don't want to chase things. I mean, Hood was something that I bought. I bought my first contract for a Hood swing trade when it was at like $76, and that thing went all the way down to like 60. So me from like 2 years ago, I probably would have sold it and then waited for a push to happen like it has now and bought it later, and then ended up doing the same thing because if Hood retraces, I would have freaked out. So just about the confidence is a big part of it. Feel that way about SoFi? Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I'm a big SoFi guy. So all right, so we got market open. Let me put out the watch list real quick to the team, just since I forgot to do that. I will take a peek. I believe John put his watch list out as well. I assume he has a lot of the same things I do. And he does, yeah. The only thing he added was Mara. I just don't really trade Mara, but it's good for definitely a good thing for small accounts. If you're on a small account, Mara can be very good. All right, so PLTR kind of does what I didn't want it to do, which was open in the middle and drop. Now we are off of a nice little 45-minute supply there. So if we could break a low, maybe get a retrace, this could still be a good supply and demand play, less of a TLM play. Apple rips. Okay, so again, probably not a TLM play. I would like to see it. Yeah, we break this high. I like that. I like that a lot. So clearly we had a reaction off the wick there. Yeah, break this high. We don't have any supply in the way. Get a retrace off that. That could be a really good supply and demand play. Coin drops down. I don't love this as much anymore. Yeah. It's clearly rejecting something, but good. I'm glad that helped, man. Glad that helped. It definitely, like, you know, I know John put out or I think I put out John's video about balance theory. Like, if you haven't learned balance theory, it's definitely something I recommend. It's a very, very good strategy. I've been using it a ton more recently. So it's definitely something to add to what you're doing, because that'll help you find some more opportunities to trade as well. Boeing drops down. So again, this will look more like a supply and demand trade. I'd probably want to see it break lows somewhere down here and then retrace. Personally, Nvidia continues its push up. Doesn't shock me. I wish it came back down to supply, but does not shock me. Looks like TSM pushes up, or pushes down, sorry. Got a little bit past our demand here. Obviously, this isn't a TLM trade for me. It's a little too trendy. Didn't even pop out anyways. And Microsoft continues past that supply. So we do have this other supply up here that we should be watching closely, see if we react off of that. If not, I mean, we could really continue a rip here on Microsoft. But so PLTR comes down, kind of breaks through that gap, retraces back up. We're not bouncing off demand in my opinion, but it does look like it's gonna rip almost all the way back to the daily high, which will kind of eliminate that as a potential trade today. Tesla makes a new low. Yeah, this is not doing what I wanted it to. So I'm probably just not going to look at that. That was one of those ones that I had a very specific idea of what I wanted to do today, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Coin TLM could be good. Could be good. I don't hate it. We'll have to see if we can hold this low. By the way, I don't know if you guys have been seeing this bird, Allbirds Inc. I don't know if anyone's looked at this. These guys like shifted this morning from I think they were like a footwear company, and they basically sold everything and announced they're going into AI, and they are up 200% on the day, which is hilarious. But yeah, very interesting thing to look at. I always like to mention those kind of wild moves. So IWM is inside TLM. We'll have to see if that daily high holds, because that could be good for a potential move down. Apple, really good reaction off demand. We do barely break the high. I would like to see it hold above that a little more, but it might retrace for a decent trade. Coin making a pretty good move. Pretty good move. Not my favorite, but a pretty decent move. They could look at coin trade, maybe. I don't know. I don't really love anything. Maybe like 30-minute there. If we come back down. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, something like this. We'll have to see if we get a bit of a rejection here. Just want to see it hold that level. Let's see. See what we do here. Obviously, if this thing rips, it's kind of done, but we will see. What was the company you just mentioned? It's Allbirds Inc. Okay, so coin literally hit that 50 for about half a second and went flying back up. There was no way I was going to get an entry on that. So we can see if it comes back down. I mean, obviously we're way past good acceptance at this point, but we can see if that comes back down. HIMS looks like it's going to continue. Shop looks like it's going to continue. It does look like the market's pushing up, which makes me a little more in favor of this coin trade. But again, unless you got in that half a second, it pushed down. It's going to be a very hard trade to enter. Microsoft goes right through supply. PLTR pretty much through supply as well. There's probably nothing here on PLTR today, so I'll take that off. Boeing does hit that retrace level, so right around this area, if that was something you want to look at. Could even maybe like target these lows, get like a 1.6. Again, if the market's going to keep pushing up, though, it makes me a little more hesitant on a potential entry for that. Personally, I would not buy the hype on Allbirds. This company has no identity. Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, it's not something I'm going to be buying. I guarantee you that. But I just think it's funny. I also think it's kind of crazy that a footwear company just decides one day to sell everything going to AI. Just funny. It is funny. See, I don't know. It doesn't look like coin's going to hit that retrace again. As I said, it would have been beautiful if you got in right at that 50, right at 1.5. That would have been a great trade. Yeah. It's one we'll miss, but you're not going to catch them all. And when it hits that retrace for half a second, a minute after you started looking at it, it's almost impossible. So that is a key lesson today. Do not chase. If you miss it, you miss it. That's all you can do. Future will not need shoes, apparently. I guess so, man. I guess we won't. We just AI our shoes on. Should work the same, right? All right, shop. Not doing what I needed to. A lot of big moves up. Yeah, coin's done. Probably post something about that. If anyone caught it, let me know. Obviously, if you caught coin, let me know. IWM's continuing. I will as well. Let's take a peek over at futures real quick. Just see if we have anything here. I don't really think we will. Again, we've kind of just been straight up and down recently. So we don't really have any sort of continuation anywhere, which is a bit unfortunate. Oil actually had a pretty decent continuation of the downside here. Could have caught any of these retraces. That could have been good. Software finally getting a bid. Not too late to get on some great plays. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. If I had more of my portfolio cash right now, I probably would be getting into some of those names, but I went pretty heavy into some names kind of towards the end of March when we were at those lows, so sticking with those plays. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunity long term if you're someone who didn't get into some of those things maybe on the March lows. Instead of chasing, look at some other avenues, because there's definitely some definitely still a lot of good names out there that are still too cheap in my opinion, or making good moves in their respective categories. Yeah, I don't think TSM is going to have anything I really want to play. Microsoft as well. This was more of just curious if it was going to react off that supply. Okay, so Boeing does push down. It's a good push down as well. It obviously does look very weak. So again, this is a play you definitely could get into. I probably won't get into Boeing just because, again, the market has been so up and Boeing's obviously been doing that same thing as well. So it might end up being a good play. It makes sense structurally in terms of supply and demand. It does make sense. It's just for me right now, I'm trying to find I really just want to take A+ setups. And also I look at something like Apple. I like Apple more here, honestly. Like Apple on a retrace, I think is a better play than Boeing would be. In terms of where I would play this, that is a good question also. I guess maybe like we have 5 minutes supply there. Could play that. See if this is a hard drop down though. Don't want to get caught in a huge push down. So let's be patient here. See if we start pushing back up. Probably look at like those, I guess. Yeah, probably like those. Let's see what it does. Yeah, that volume is insane. Insane volume spike, which at our retrace point is kind of what we want to see anyways. But we obviously would like to see it close a little better. And you are at the 60 as well, kind of 61.8. So you could even do something like this and play it a little safer if you wanted. Let's see if we're going to drop hard here. Let us see. Or if we will find a way up. Looking at what would that be? Let's see what that gives us. Trying to get this risk narrowed down. Make sure I don't oversize here. I think we'll be fine. Just want to make sure we're not going to push down below that low. That is my big worry here. So let's keep an eye on this. Scott, I hope it does also. Yeah, let's see what it does. Let's see. IWM dumped pretty hard. It's quite the dump down. So that might actually, and Boeing. Yeah, if you got in that, you're looking great. Might actually, that's quite the pullback here. Continuation would be tough to find. MYM, M2K both broke the lows. So those I wouldn't look at. And everything kind of broke lows. Coin acting crazy? What's Coin doing? Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about chopping. That is an insane move. It held the low really well, though. Not something I would have gone into, not in a million years, but quite the move. All right, Apple. Let's see if you can push here. Let's see what you can do. It's good that we're stalling out here. We're not breaking more lows. Crazy volume right at this retrace area as well, which is something you'd like to see. But it looks like sellers might just take over. What are you playing on, Apple? It's a supply and demand trade. I'm keeping an eye on it. I have my order ready. I haven't entered it yet. I'm really just curious to see where this is going to go. I was really hoping we'd hold that low. I do not love that we didn't. Let's see how this candle closes. Let's see. Yeah, that's a 5 minute as well. Yeah, it's not a good drop. That is not a good drop. That's why I've been trying to be a little extra patient with some of these plays, because you just sometimes get these big moves, big massive pushes down on some of these names. So at this point, I'm watching to see if we can get back up to this retrace area. But it doesn't look like we will. So I'll probably end up taking that order off. Obviously, I won't take it off until we break the low, but it looks like we're going to. That's a pretty straight shot down. Looks like a good TLM play downside. I mean, it technically would be counter trend, but the other thing here as well is you open here, right? So you open kind of towards that bottom line and then start pushing up and go all the way to the top. It's not something I look for with TLM, right? If I'm going to open down here towards the bottom line, I'd want it to pop out to the downside and then come back in. I don't want it to rotate all the way to the top and then try to play it on the rotation down, because that gets too close to that whole, like, you're looking for the second rotation thing. And that really pushes me away from a trade like that. So yeah, not something I look for TLM personally. HIMS, it's not really going to do anything I care for too much. NVIDIA doesn't look like it's going to pull back. Again, Boeing could have been good. I'm just going to take NVIDIA off. But yeah, it is looking like Coin was the play. Again, would have been very difficult to get in that short amount of time that you had to get in. But if you got it, it looks like that was the play. Let's see if Apple can recapture this retrace area. Like I said, if it does get back up to that retrace, I still like it. At this point, we rejected low of day. So let's see. Let's see what we get. I'd like to see a little more volume here, but let us see what we get. I guess the only concerning thing is maybe looking at the likes of, an MES, and seeing it break a pretty decent low here, and then retrace is not the best thing in the world. And then you got the likes of these two, which are just falling off a cliff. But let's see what Apple can do. MSTR TLM. I think I just took that off the list earlier. I know someone played this recently. I think just the other day. It's not bad. We're at a little bit of supply here, so I'd probably pass on it. Just because you have that supply right in the middle, around the 1 hour. So not something I would take, but yeah, I mean, in terms of acceptance, you're doing exactly what you need to. Yeah, not my type of trade. It's a very, very hard rule for me, is having that supplier demand in the middle, not trying to play it before. But yeah, you could wait for that break of your supplier demand level and then get in on a retrace of that for sure. Could definitely do that. Anyone that hasn't said anything in the chat, put something in there, say what's up, tell me what you're looking at. Or anyone that has said something, if you are looking at something else that I'm not, let me know in the chat. If you're not part of Freedom Team, any just YouTube viewers, let me know you're in here as well. Ja, what's going on, man? How are you? How are you doing? Apple's taking quite a lot of time to get it back up there. See, it looks like SPY bounced off the gap. Qs as well bounces off the gap pretty nicely. I don't see anything here I would really like to play. I mean, MES is off like a 15-minute right here, but I just feel like that's kind of a little bit of a force, in my opinion. I assume this is very similar. Yeah, so you have like MNQ has a nice 30-minute there that we did bounce off of. You break the high, maybe a retrace off of that could be good. But the likes of MYM are just off a cliff. Trevor, good morning. Watching Goo calls. You're watching Goo calls. I assume this is a... I assume it's not a day trade. Maybe it is. But let me know what you're thinking with those. Emma, good morning. Nothing right now, just watching. I think that's perfectly fine. Joss is wondering when I'm ready to place my order, how do I get to open a specific price? You do a limit order. Are you saying like a specific price of the stock? So if you want to do that and kind of automate your entry, you would do a market order and then add a condition on it to enter at whatever that price is, right? So if I wanted to, for this, if I wanted to enter as it was coming back up to this 50, right? I set a market order on Apple, and then I'd set a condition on it that at 258.78 is when I wanted to get in. And it'll be a little different depending on what you're doing it on, whether it's like TOS or Vanquish or whatever, but Most brokers will have an option for that to add a condition to a market order. The only thing is make sure you're trading something with tighter stop or tighter spreads, because the market order is going to fill it at the most expensive price. So a lot of times that'll be the ask price. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. It looks like Apple's coming back up. Looking for candle close on QQs above high and retrace. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that is more than fine. But yeah, definitely want to see that candle close. I'd probably just look on the future side of things, but if you're looking at stocks, then yeah, it's going to be the same thing, whether it's Qs or MNQ. Yeah, I do like it. So Apple does cross our retrace area. Like I said, I will, I'll stick to my word here. I'll enter as we cross back up above that. And we'll see if we can ride it all the way up. Hopefully. Hopefully this isn't just a retrace to go down lower. We'll see what we do. We will see what we do. I would prefer to get a candle close above that retrace area, personally. But we'll see. I think I will wait for that. See if we can close a candle above it. Which we do. Okay. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. We'll rock out with that. All right, Apple. What you got for me, man? What you got for me? SPY pushing up. Qs does get a candle close above that, which is good. It's good. So we could look for potential retrace and a long on that. Just take a quick peek around at everything else that's moving. NVIDIA's still going up. AMD still going. Microsoft flew again today above 400. What a stock. Hood's holding that gap up very well. Already up another $3 today, almost at 8% gain on the day. AVGO continues up. Coin continues upwards. Tesla continues upwards. TSM struggling a little bit. MU struggling a little bit as well. Yeah. It's actually a decent day for the market so far. I mean, obviously some bigger names are down a little bit, but most of the market's up pretty well. Because Apple just had a stress test at first. Let's hope it was just a stress test. We still need to get a clean breakout from this retrace area. The only, I guess, worry here is that this is just a retrace back to that high before push lower. But again, we have two things going for us, right? We have kind of this recent trend of moving upwards, and then we also have a nice clean bounce off of a 30-minute demand. So you have enough confirmations there, as well as a break of the previous high, right? Holding the previous low. There's a lot of things going for this to the upside. So if it ends up being a trade we lose, you had 4 things I just named off that are in your favor. So that is a good outline for a good trade. So we will see what we can do. See what we can do. We'll set up as well an alert on Qs right around here. We'll see what we can do there. It's definitely something I'd be I'd be pretty into if we do retrace. If the market looks anything like it has the past 2 days, then a retrace is very unlikely. But you never know. That's the fun of the market. You never know. Very good push on Apple. High volume again at our retrace area. Where's the alert on Q? It's just at that sort of 50% retrace area. Not necessarily saying I'd get in right here, but that's just where I'm putting it out. All right, let's see if Apple can get a strong close on the 1 minute here. Hopefully we can close close to 259.20. Yep, that's a great close. We'll see if we can continue upwards after that. Hopefully keep this momentum going up. Finally got a signal I missed out. What was it on? What'd you miss out on? Yeah, I missed a trade today too, man. Missing a trade is not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Boeing would have worked out. If you took Boeing, would have worked out great. Definitely would have worked out. So if you took that, congrats. I don't know if anyone did, but this would have been a beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. Better being okay with it and not trading. Yeah. Once you get that kind of comfort of, whether it's you miss a trade or you just don't trade for a day. I used to really struggle with that, where like the days I wasn't trading, I felt like I wasn't doing anything. And that would cause me to just stare at the charts all day and force some stupid trade that more than likely would end up losing. And what I found is that over, an extended period of time, if you look at yourself for 6 months or a year, right, having those days where you don't trade and you don't force anything are a lot better for you in terms of profitability, but also consistency over the long run, than taking a trade that you're just forcing because you feel like you're not accomplishing anything that day. There's still a lot of lessons to learn. And you can learn a lot on a day that you don't trade. Capital preservation is doing something. In other words, yeah. Preserving capital is never a bad thing. It's always better to end the day with the same amount of cash in your account that you started the day with than to end it with less, right? Love to find another day. Yeah. Used to make me anxious, like doing a day job. I wasn't working, not trading. Yeah. But the thing you have to learn about trading is that you can still be working, you can still be learning, even when you don't trade. And once that starts giving you that same sort of feeling of accomplishment, right? Once I started to realize that, hey, if I don't trade today, but I learn something that can help me in the future, I still accomplish something for that day. Once you get that feeling kind of in your head, it's a lot easier to be a profitable trader. A lot easier, trust me. Apple is playing a lot of games with us here, which is not fun. A lot of games. Learn is the key to clean up. Get better lessons, yeah. I mean, dude, even like, I think all the coaches would tell you this as well within Freedom Team. Like, we're still learning stuff every day, right? Like, there's stuff that I look at the market and I say, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that before. Or I used to think about something like this, but now I can think about it like that. The market's all about adapting and constantly trying to take in as much knowledge as you can from other people, or other people's trades, whatever it might be. And of course, asking questions to people. Once you continue learning until the last breath. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Harley can vouch for this too. Like when we did the conference in Miami, like there was all of us there when all the coaches were giving presentations, right? And we were all locked into those presentations, listening to them and kind of learning from what even the other coaches said, right? Because ultimately, that's the more you learn, the more you know, the easier it's going to be to become a profitable trader and stay there consistently. I didn't just get profitable and get consistent with trading and then just stop asking questions or stop researching or stop learning things, right? I didn't just say, oh, I'm good at it now, so I can stop. I continued going, continued learning, continued watching videos, continued listening to people talk, continued to look at people's trades. I mean, that's why I tell you guys, right? Like for everyone that's in the Slack, like I know a lot of people are kind of iffy about posting things in Slack, or whether it's posting their profitable trades or lessons learned, things like that. But like I can say for myself, I go through and review all the profits every single day that people post and all the posts in main chat, because there might be something in a trade that you post that I look at and say, oh, that's a really good thing to keep an eye out for, or that was a really good trade, right? So for those of you that do it, continue to do it. For those of you that don't, like even a simple post of a winning trade you took could help someone else. And that's ultimately what trading community should be about, is not just the coaches helping each other, but also everyone that's learning can learn together. That's the beauty of having a community, man. Because we're asking each other stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's why all the coaches work really well together, because no one has an ego. No one's afraid to ask questions or clarify things that they have questions on. That's why it works. It wouldn't work if we all were just egotistical a-holes that thought we were the best at what we do. That wouldn't work well. I want to drop exactly what you said. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes you're right, man. Sometimes I am correct. I'm not going to say all the time, because that's just not true. But sometimes I am correct. So I'm not going to be a coach because I have an ego. No, you're good, Harley. You're all good, man. Spreading the word is awesome. Yeah, it is, man. Helping each other is the key. Q's may be coming back down. It might, yeah. It just might. I'd honestly like I'd like it to pull back to the 60, in all honesty, and play it that way. That'd be my preferred thing today, but I don't know if it will. I don't know if it will. But yeah, definitely something I'll keep an eye on. I'll keep that alert up. Maybe we'll trade that today too if it comes back down. Like SanDisk, she called today's drop a retrace or rejection soon because of the speed of drop. Are you looking for a day trade or swings? SanDisk, dude, their chart is crazy. Like for a day trade, okay. If you're like in the market and you haven't seen SanDisk recently, this is just an insane, absolutely insane stock right now. No, I mean, it's a good rejection off supply here and a break of the low. Your next demand isn't until really that 860 range. I mean, it might end up more of a swing, but like if you could retrace kind of back up to like 915-ish, put your stop above the high, I don't hate it. The only thing is obviously trend. You're that's very counter trend for what Sandus is doing, but I wouldn't mind it. I think it's a needed retrace for sure, but it's definitely a rejection of a supply, if anything. So yeah, could be a decent trade. Western Digital. What is their WDC? Oh, this. Did you ever take that? Was this the one that we were talking about in Miami, the balance theory trade? I don't know if this was. This is definitely more of just a retrace. This is not a rejection of anything. That's more just a healthy retrace based on what it did yesterday. Yeah, this was the balance. Yeah, you could have played this right up to the upside of that balance very nicely. That'd been clean. Would have been very clean. Apple going. Attaboy. KB Homes. Yeah, that's what it was in Miami. Yeah, you're correct. You are correct. That one had a nice balance on it too, though. I know Jordan was like very close to taking that KB Homes swing trade. I don't know if he ever did for balance. I'll have to ask him about that. From July to March 2026 was in balance. Yeah. Like being next conference. Yeah, I think we'll I don't know if we'll do another one this year. We might. I doubt it, but we might. I think if anything, I mean, we might end up doing one. I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't actually know. Like, it's not something we've talked about in great depth as a team. But I'd like to do one again soon. I think it'd be fun. I just don't know if we'll do another one this year. It's crazy though. It's already been a month and a half since that. It's wild. Time to build up, work on my coaching training. Yeah. You close that Apple? Nice. Nice. I'll ride up to or at least try to ride up to daily high. Hopefully I don't get the same thing that happened on SPY the other day. That was, I don't know how many of you were in that SPY trade on, I think that was Monday. Man, I was so glad I automated that, because if I was sitting there watching that, I probably would have sold there early, honestly. That's why I don't watch my trades. Yeah, we could do something like that, Harley. Definitely could. We'll probably end up doing something a little bigger next time, honestly. Try to get as many people out there as we can. I think it'd be obviously less like intimate. Obviously the one in Miami was like basically a lot of almost like one-on-one time. But I think it'd be cool to get some more people out there. All right. So Apple hits. Beautiful trade. If you took it, let me know. But yeah, very, very nice trade. 1 for 1 on the day. You'll love to see it. Let me know if you took it. Hopefully everyone in here did. Hopefully you guys trusted the knowledge. Hopefully. No, obviously Miles did, but hopefully a few more of you caught it. Strap lock, all the whole thing still holding. Yeah. I think you could I think we had a nice little 5-minute supply up here. So you could target that. We kind of hit the wick. But yeah, definitely get out of it somewhere in this range, like that 260, 80 range. I wouldn't hold it past that personally. But yeah, very, very solid trade. Not going to complain about that. So yeah, hopefully a lot of you caught it. Profitable day. That is I didn't trade yesterday, so 2 for 2 this week. Profitable days. Very good. We also had the God, someone's gonna have to remind me what the other thing was that we traded on Monday. SPY trade was the second. Oh, the meta trade. That's what it was. Meta on Monday as well. So 3 for 3 on the week, by the way. If anyone's curious. 3 for 3. Beautiful week so far. A little easier than it has been. I will admit that, just because it's been a little more bullish, so a little easier. But yeah, pretty solid week so far. Kind of weird on structure. Like reviewing it. Yeah, definitely a little odd with the move way past our retrace area, but held the low, and that's what we're going for. Don't understand the entry. All good. I will. I'll probably do a trade recap right after this on this, and I'll put it out in Slack. So keep an eye on the main chat, and we'll do a little trade review at 260. Beautiful. Love to see it. Came in late this morning. Raise your entered. Sweet. Love it, Jay. Where'd you already demand zone? Just 30-minute demand right here. 30-minute demand. That is all. That is all, Alex. Good to see you as well, man. Thoughts on Walmart swing? Real quick. I mean, for a swing trade, probably nothing. I don't really, there's nothing here I really like, to be honest. I mean, you could get in on this retrace and go up. I'd like to see some more buying pressure here, though. I'd keep an eye out for that, but yeah, not anything I like a ton. Anything else you guys want me to review today outside of Coin and Apple? I guess I should look at Boeing as well. But if there's anything else, I'm gonna do the trade recap right after this. So we'll go from there. For anyone not in Freedom Team, I'll put a link here. If you want to book a call, possibly join, and get some more info on us, please do. Please take the opportunity. But yeah, 3 for 3 on the week. Can't complain. All done on live as well, which is beautiful. Not a single trade I've taken this week was not on a live trading. So love to see that. MU, supply and demand day trade. I will take a peek at that. I assume for a short is what you're looking at? Or are you looking at demand down here? So if you're looking short, probably not because you're at demand. But yeah, if you're at demand, you just need a low. I'd prefer if this did something like this and then hit that demand and then you got like that move. But if we come down, just hit demand, we just don't really have a high in here. I guess our closest high would be here. So be a little safe with that. But yeah, I'm gonna go hit the trade review real quick. So keep an eye out on the main chat and Slack. Obviously, if you guys caught Apple or anything else today, put in profits. Let me know. Make sure you post it. And yeah, should be good there. So great week, 3 for 3. I will see you guys that are in Freedom Team on Friday, and hopefully we can try to make it 4 for 4 in the week, assuming I don't trade tomorrow. But let's see. We'll see if we can make it 4 for 4 on the lives on Friday. So I will see you guys there. Appreciate you, and have a good Wednesday.